Oh no, Jolene, thank you. I have no idea how long I was muted there. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, let's take a step back, you guys. So let's just walk back through. So we are talking about brain health today, which is a really important topic. And I know there's two schools, right? There's those of you who are focused on brain health because you've got some concerns about Alzheimer's or dementia. And then there's those of you who are like, hey, I just got brain fog and I've got to get rid of this brain fog. So both schools of thought I want to talk to and address on both sides today because it's really important. So number one, I mean, let's be real, right? It is about, yes, maybe definitely eliminating our concerns about brain fog or our memory or attention or our focus. But the other part too, I think when it comes to brain health is really about preventing. I mean, if we think about how much of the population, 4% of the US adult population over the age of 65 is already reported to having received a dementia diagnosis. And of course, this increases as we get older. So, when people are 85 or older, we're looking at 13.5% of people who are 85 or older having had a dementia diagnosis. And you guys, I don't know, but these are staggering numbers. And dementia and Alzheimer's, they don't just affect you, but they also impact your family, right? They impact the people who have to take care of you. And this is this is a big deal. I mean, 55 people throughout the world, as of 2020, were dealing with dementia, and they are expecting that rate to basically double come 2050. They're expecting that 78 million people, and then by 2030, and then 139 million by 2050 will be dealing with dementia. These numbers are staggering, and we have to start to ask ourselves why. How did we get to this place where we're living in a world where as people are aging, they're losing their minds, right? And I'll tell you guys, it comes back to what we talk about every day. It comes back to our diet, it comes back to our lifestyle, it comes back to our stress management. And these are all key components. Last week we spoke a little bit more, and so you can go back to last week's Lunch and Learn Live. But last week we spoke a little bit more about Alzheimer's and dementia. We talked about type 3 diabetes. And if you missed that, just to give you a quick recap, our blood sugar regulation is really important to our brain health. Okay. And dementia has been called type 3 diabetes. And people sometimes they say, oh, well, I don't have diabetes and I don't have pre-diabetes and everything looks fine and everything is good. But I always invite people to understand that we've got a huge portion of the population that's dealing with insulin resistance. In other words, their blood sugar levels, although they're looking normal on an A1C, they're having spikes and troughs all throughout the day. And that's something that we want to take a look at, because your A1C, that's the blood marker that's used to measure your blood sugar over the average of a 3-month period of time. So if we're looking at just an average, and maybe you're not spiking and trying all that high, or maybe you're coming down just as low as you're coming high, that average is going to balance out. And so you may not see it necessarily on your A1C, but still you're having these blood sugar swings. And so you can go back to last week's Lunch and Learn where, Carissa and we spoke about, okay, so what are some of the things you can do to manage your blood sugar? And you want to do that, right? Walking after a meal, adding vinegar, making sure that when you sit down to eat a meal, you're eating the high fiber stuff first, like your vegetables, and then your proteins and your fats, and then your higher carbohydrate stuff. So there's lots of little things that you can do to manage those swings. But when it comes to brain health, and you guys, I work decent hours. I've got to be productive because I've got to take care of all of my clients. I've got to take care of my children, got to manage the household. You know what it's like. I don't know about you, but I don't have time for my brain to be off. So you better bet that I'm taking super good care of my brain. And one of the most important things, you guys, I'm going to give you two of the most important things that don't require anything but some effort and some time are going to be your exercise and your meditation. right? Because your exercise is getting the endorphins moving, it's moving the lymphatics in your body. That exercise is really important. Meditation, also really important because you're learning how to take more control over your mind. And this is a big deal because we are living in a world where everything is like coming at us. We scroll social media. Anybody get stuck scrolling? Gosh, there are times that I'm scrolling. I'm like, Danielle, what are you doing? Turn this stuff off, right? It happens. It happens to all of us in this day and age. And we've really got to protect our brains from those things. But I think one of the biggest keys that people often forget about is our sleep. You guys, sleep is one of the most critical things for your brain because when you're sleeping, that is when your brain is actually detoxifying. So if you're not getting into a good sleep, then your brain isn't getting the opportunity to clean up, clear out, and heal. And I'll say that again. If you are not getting good sleep, then your brain is not getting the opportunity to clean up, clear out, and heal. And this is a problem. And the more you're not getting a good sleep, the less and less your body's doing that. And so you are setting yourself up, in a very unempowered way for the future. So if you're not sleeping well, you want to start to get to the underlying root cause of why you're not sleeping. Are you eating too late? Is your bedroom dark? Is all of the Wi-Fi off in the house, or are you being bombarded in your sleep? Are your hormones imbalanced? Are you snoring? Do you have airway problems? In our podcast, for example, you can look out for the episode with Dr. Leanr, who is a dentist and orthodontist, and we spent a good amount of time just talking about airway issues, because if you are a snorer and you are not getting your sleep, then your brain does not get its opportunity to heal. And that, my friends, is a big issue for us to take a look at when it comes to your health and it comes to maintaining brain health. Okay, what about nutrients? I mean, I think you guys have all heard about the power of omega-3s. And I will tell you, I do supplement on a daily basis with the DHA from Premier Research Labs. They do have an EPA DHA, but you guys, DHA is an omega fat that has to be converted in the body. And so I just go right for the DHA. That's my thing to supplement with, so the body doesn't have to go through that conversion process. But you, of course, want to get your omega-3s through your food. So fatty fish, walnuts, flax seeds, these are all really good sources of omega-3. And they support your cognitive function. They support your brain plasticity, the ability of your brain to grow and change. They help to reduce that cognitive decline. So those are really important. And what I don't know if you guys heard just a moment ago, but there's a lot of talk about omega-3s. There's a big buzz for omega-3s, and they should be. They're important. But what most people don't understand, right, is like we can supplement ourselves till kingdom come with all of these omega-3s, really, really high amounts of omega-3s. But the key is the balance between the omega-3s and the omega-6s. Okay, so omega-3s are inflammatory, omega-6s are pro-inflammatory, and of course, there is a reason and a purpose for both. Okay, but when these things are so out of balance, which they are given the standard American diet, that's when we end up with issues with our brain, with issues with inflammation. So the one thing we always tell our clients at South Bay Wellness is eliminate all seed oils from your diet. Okay. I don't mind if you have sunflower seeds. They're a great source of zinc. I don't mind if you're having avocados, great source of healthy fat, right? I don't mind if you're doing those things, but to have the actual oils, that is where we run into trouble. And seed oils in particular are highly pro-inflammatory. And then of course you've got, your things like canola oil, which is genetically modified. You don't want that in your diet anyway. One of the other ones is rape seed oil. That is, canola oil, rapeseed oil. You guys, these are all things you want to avoid in your diet. So any kind of seed oils whatsoever, and you will find them. Soybean oil, another one that is highly genetically modified. If you just do the one simple thing of beginning to remove the seed oils from your diet, increase your fatty fish, farm raised, of course, your walnuts, your flax seeds, your chia seeds, those things that are high in omega-3s, then you're going to start having improvement in your brain health. And not just your brain health, you guys. The cellular membranes of every single cell in our body have a lipid layer. They are made of fats. And so our body uses whatever that best thing is coming in. Think about your brain, all those fats. If all you're bringing in is junk oils, right? All those seed oils that are usually rancid, the processed, many of them are toxic, genetically modified. If that's all your brain's got to use and run on, then that's what your brain's going to use and run. What's the effectiveness and efficiency of your brain going to look like? And so that's always something for us to take into consideration. The other thing we want to ramp up on for our brains is our antioxidants, right? Blueberries, spinach, clean, dark chocolate, right? I love raw, vegan, no sugar, dark chocolate. It is one of my favorites, right? Don't forget your leafy greens, because your leafy greens also have all of those B vitamins too, which help bring down the homocysteine levels. So those are all important things, right? So we got exercise, we got sleep, we've got omega-3s, we've got antioxidants. One of the big things that is showing up today, and I am a huge mushroom fan, so medicinal mushrooms like your lion's mane, for example. I think Peer Research Labs is coming out with a straight lion's mane coming soon. Don't quote me on that, but I heard through the grapevine that that's coming. I'm super excited about that. But those medicinal mushrooms can also be very helpful in terms of our brain health. But you guys, anything that manages our stress level also helps to empower our brain. So like if you guys are using Premier Research Labs, like the adaptogens, I love that helps support the brain, helps support your focus, but it's bringing down your stress levels. So that's really important. The cognotropic, so it's got the spearmint in there, which is really helpful for your brain. So the cognotropic is another one that I use on a regular basis, because I find that it's really helpful. And, there's another one that most people often neglect, and that's the creatine. So the creatine has, it's long been known, my boys are like, I need creatine for my workout. But it's not just in terms of building muscle. It's also, studies are showing that it's really, really good in terms of brain health. So that is another one that would be helpful to bring into your regimen. And I know, guys, we've got just a little bit of time left here. And I want us to not forget that one of the most effective things we can do for our brain too is keep it active, right? Keep your brain active, challenge yourself. If your brain and your mind is all over the place, then start to hone it in with breathing and meditation. Okay. If your mind is used to staring at a TV, well, turn off the TV, start to do puzzles, start to do, even the Sudokus. Get your mind moving, because the more that your mind is moving, the more that your brain is going, the more effective you will be at maintaining your brain health. Okay. And then all the other basics, you guys, having a healthy diet, making sure that you're getting in enough fluids, enough vegetables, enough fruits, some of those healthy nuts and seeds that we talked about, like the walnuts in this case with the omega-3s. These are all things that you can do. All right, everyone. I don't see any questions in the chat box, but if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in. Now's a good time. We will be back next week. Carissa will be joining us as well next week. So I do look forward to seeing everyone next week. And if you have any questions, drop them in. We do check the messages and stuff later on as well. So we'll get them answered for you. All right, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you with all of our gratitude next week, which is really powerful for your brain health as well. As next week is Thanksgiving for those of you who are in the United States. So we will see you then. So Jolene, it shouldn't hold on to the water in the sense that it's giving you diarrhea, like not like a diuretic for sure. But you do want to make sure that you are using sufficient amounts of water when you are using the creatine. Absolutely. So awesome. All right, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week.